All right, hey YouTubers, how you guys doing? Today we are looking at the Sony a6000 and see if it's still, what you guys' thoughts on if it's still worth using in 2020 or even heading towards 2021, and what my opinion is on this. I mean, not like it means a lot, but I mean, this is what I do for half of my living is video production, and I still use them. And people ask me how. So I'm going to tell you what I use them for, and how I do think they're still worth having. I mean, for the price you can get them at and the quality that they actually shoot at, I think that they're definitely still worth having around. I mean, granted, they definitely wouldn't be your A cam, you know, but for a B cam and also live streaming, which I bet you wouldn't think that. But the thing about this is they have HDMI. And there's a big plus to have an HDMI on a camera. Even though this thing, you know, doesn't have mic inputs and that kind of stuff, the HDMI is the secret for these little bastards. Anyhow, and they do still have the overheating problem. The battery life isn't great, you know, when you're doing this kind of stuff. But the thing that I use them for when I'm live streaming, and I'll get into that in a second, is you can actually plug them into a power supply, right directly into a USB socket in there, and you have them sit in one place, and they're powered on with USB power. And then you also have your HDMI out, which is very important for what I use them for. And then, or you can hook them to an external thing, or else you can also get a battery pack where you have two batteries in there. They last just fine with that, with the two battery pack on the bottom, which I have sitting over there. But right now I'm all wired up, so I'm not going to go grab it. But you guys know what I'm talking about, the external battery pack that goes in the bottom of your cameras that fits into these, and the a6000 or the a64s and the a63s and the a66s. They all pretty much fit in the same cameras. But so I have actually two a6000s. And then I have an a6600, and those are my main cameras. My a6600 is my main camera. I have an a6300 too, but I don't really use it anymore. I'm actually going to be selling that because I got the a66. And then I'm just going to keep the a6000s because they're I have two cameras that I can make look exactly alike. My a66 it still looks a little different. I can get them matching in pretty closely, all three the same, because they are still close to the same cameras. Right. Really, these, you know, if you're running a really super fast SD card, and I can't remember what the SD card is, it'll actually stop a lot of that overheating. It's all about the SD card. And then, you know, the cutoff time on the 6600 is now you can actually record for as long as you want, until the card runs out. These still only have that 30-minute cutoff, but I don't ever really even use cards in these anymore. You know, once in a while I do, and I usually do. I can't say that I usually do. I usually have them in there for backup and playing. But I'll show you why. What I do is I do a lot of. Let me go to my roaming camera over here and switch. I do a lot of like live streaming and tutorial stuff, and even when I'm not live streaming, I'll just record it in this Ninja 2 into the Atem Mini. And then Atem Mini, you can't shoot, you can't use 4K in the Atem Mini. It's only 1080p. But really, for online stuff, that's all you need. You know, even when I'm shooting in 4K, I don't think I've ever edited a video in 4K and released it for a client or even ourselves. It's always been, I'll shoot them in 4K just because I have that crop factor and I'll have more pixels. But I don't think I've ever given the finished product in 4K. I don't think anyone's ever even asked for it. So I haven't had no use for it, because online, if you're looking at a 4K video on YouTube or a 1080p video on YouTube, I guess if you have the new 4K TVs and you're watching YouTube on your TV, which is maybe like a 0.1% of the people in the world, you know, okay, great. But other than that, you know, I love 4K and I use it all the time, and especially when I'm shooting footage for you know, to sell, just B-roll footage. I'll shoot everything in 4K, of course, and when I'm droning, I always drone in 4K, but I'm always cropping it down to 1080p. But yeah, but these things right here, they work great with the Atem. I keep pronouncing the name wrong. The Atem Mini. They just work amazing because they're 1080p. and when you're using the Atem Mini, it all comes out the same format anyhow. And then I just come out of the Atem Mini right into the Ninja 2, or I'll just go from the USB-C and into the computer, and then I use the Mini as a live stream camera to live stream with. And then let me go with my computer here, and we'll bring up my little screen, see, and it does all that stuff for me. I just did all that. I'm not doing any editing in the computer. This is all being edited live through the Atem Mini with two Sony a6000s, and actually I am using my 6300 right now to shoot this with a 50mm lens on it. And but anyhow, so the software that comes with the Atem Mini is this software, and you can actually run the Atem Mini without using the software. This is only if you hook it up through USB, then you can have access to the software. If you go over to Switcher, it basically gives you the Blackmagic Switcher, same Switcher software they use on every Blackmagic. Here's your media pool where you can put in lower thirds and drag in lower thirds over the top of your streaming, or just recording straight to like a Ninja 2, like what I'm doing right now. And then your audio, of course, and if you're familiar with the Blackmagic, you know, it has all your plugins in. So like if I just click on my channel, and I can add a compressor on there, so now my compressor's on there and blah, blah, blah. And I usually do it with a compressor on, but right now I have so many computers running in the background. They hear that hissing noise. That's actually a room heater across the way, because right now in Vegas it's cold for Vegas. I mean, it's like 61 degrees, which is in Vegas. It shouldn't be that cold. So I'm gonna turn the compressor off, and just so you don't hear that hissing in the background. But yeah, so that's what I use these A600s for, is mainly to use in the Atem Mini, because the Atem Mini, you know, it only does 1080p, like I said, and the quality is amazing. Here is some footage that actually me and my wife just shot of us doing some acoustic stuff in our living room, and I just had a friend over there running the Atem Mini, did it live, and then we actually live streamed that to Facebook. So, but I'll put a little clip in right here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What am I doing wrong that it bubbles up like that? Breathing?
You just drink wrong. But not too much, because I don't want to get hit with with copyright. So anyhow, so there's a little bit there. Here's a little bit here.
Hang on, I gotta reset.
Okay, sorry.
That's all right.
Just don't put the cups down until I get to the where you start singing.
Well, tell me when.
Okay, and.
Never meant to cause you any sorrow.
Oh, I know what it is. You don't.
It's like a fuzzy lifting drink.
No,
fizzy
watch.
Lifting
Watch.
drink
This is
from
how.
Willy Wonka.
No, this is how you drink out of a bottle. You put your lip. You put your top lip there, and then your bottom lip underneath it. And you drink it like a cup. You don't wrap.
I always thought you went like this.
No, you don't. I like that. But that's why. You go.
You're kidding, right? I thought that you went like this.
No, that's how you get backwash. You put your lip underneath it. You block it like a cup. Like you're drinking champagne.
I think the reason I go like this is because of lipstick.
I know why you're doing that. Nasty little
That's not why, bitch.
It'll be funny. Anyhow, those were all shot. Those were all shot with A6000s with an was it 66? No, it was A6300 was on the was one of the cameras, and the other two were the A6000s. And I also was on a slider. One of them was on a little robotic slider I have. The other two were just on We're just on tripods. All the audio is coming through, was coming from a mixing board into the Atem Mini, which I'll show you over here. So the Atem Mini, you have two inputs right here, channel 1 and channel 2. Let me get that in focus, channel 1 and channel 2. And I just had a stereo feed going in there, and then you can control the audio from here, you know, either up and down. So if I go over here and go back to the mixing board, let me bring this up over here and get rid of the compressor. And if I go to the mixing board, you know, basically here is the audio for my mic, which my mic is just let me go back to my roaming cam. My mic is just, I just have a cheap little lav plugged into channel 1 right now, and this one is not even plugged in anything, it's just sitting here. But and that's my mic you're hearing right now, and there's no compressor, nothing, that's just it. It's just raw, cheap $15 lav mic plugged in the back of Atem Mini. But when we're actually doing our live recording, then I'm actually using like our little tiny USB mixer down there, and then I'll just come out of that directly into the Atem Mini. And then the Atem Mini is just feeding from, you know, USB-C 3 into, USB-C into here, and it sees it as a webcam, and or else I'm just coming out with an HDMI out, because you can do USB-C 3 or HDMI out, and then just going right into a Ninja 2, which the Ninja 2s now, I mean, these things don't do don't do 4K neither, they just do 1080p. And since this only does 1080p, there's no use on having a 4K capture device. So I'm just, and you can get these cheap. I got this one actually, my buddy Sean gave to me, just because his cameras was 4K and he was doing everything in 4K and didn't have any use of that. Just gave it to me. So I was like, hell yeah, I'll take it. And but you can pick them up on OfferUp. Let's go over and check it out. So here, actually, on the let me put the rolling camera down. As far as a 6300, so I mean, like, look at this. I'm on OfferUp. I just typed in a6300. I mean, you can pick up. This guy's selling with the kit lens. The kit lens, I mean, you can buy. You know, it costs you $200. These kit lenses, even used, and this guy's selling the kit lens and a zoom lens for $300. You know, I wish I would have seen that deal before I bought my last one. You know, just the lenses alone is a pretty good deal. Some of these guys, $500. I'm sorry, no, I don't think you're ever going to get that, ever. I would never spend $500 on a 300, 350 if there was a lot of little extras like this guy right here. Let's see what he's got going on here. Just the kit lens. Yeah, unless I was in desperate need, I probably would not do that. You know, I would try to keep it around $300. But for $300, I would buy an a6300. You know, I think I did spend $300, and I got, my last one was basically this setup right here. It was used. It was an a6300 with a 50mm lens. Actually, that's what I'm using right now on this camera, is that a6000 with a 50mm lens. It's this exact same setup, and I got it for $300 on OfferUp. Thomas Ninja 2. You know, you can find them. You know, this guy wants $170, but probably if you offered these guys a few, you know, $150. I've found them on here for $100, $85. You know, this guy posted this 3 weeks ago. I found them on here going on OfferUp and other things, sometimes for, you know, 100, 150. You know, and that's definitely worth it, because, you know, it's just a great little recorder, especially when you're putting these three things together. But that's what I use these for, is I use them mainly for 3-camera switching gigs, either live streaming or just going right to my Ninja and then going home and just cutting the front back off, maybe some clips, you know. But what's nice is the corporate gigs I've been doing lately, you know, we have I can just go, this is basically a setup I take, you know, and I have my a6600 in the back, that way it doesn't overheat, and then I have my other ones around, so if they do overheat, it doesn't matter, I can go to the long shot. And then I have my Ninja that's recording. I come out of the HDMI out to the main feed. So you know, if I'm doing a corporate gig where they have two, let me turn off my mug on this side. It's over here. Where they have two projectors on the side or something like that, they're seeing what's basically going on the feed. So if they're, you know, if they're going to be doing stuff off their MacBook on stage, I'll have this hooked up on stage. I have a couple of, you know, so basically they can show their PowerPoint. They can show their PowerPoint. It'll come off the screens. I can put a picture on picture of them up there. You know, I can move the picture on picture around. You know, I can also put it down here or over here or over here. You know, I can change the size in the software, and you know, I can also do fade. So if I want to come out of that camera and say go to B-roll, you know, it has a nice little fade. I have that one a little overblown right now. Let me bring that down, ISO down, you know. So anyhow, and then, you know, so I can do nice fades, or I can just do a sharp cut, you know. So anyhow, and that's all from there. I don't have any. I can go into the software and do more. If I go into the software, you know, I can actually go in here, and if I click on media, I can set up lower thirds, so when people are talking and, you know, the presenters are up there talking, then they can actually have a lower third on the bottom. I don't have it in here right now, so I can't show it to you. But for the A6, like I said, yeah, they still worth it in 2020. I would say, yeah. For what I use it for, they're perfect, and they're small. I can fit two of these and an A66 or A6300, and let me go back to my roaming camera, and, you know, basically that, maybe the Tascam if I need it, and this, and a bunch of cords in a tiny backpack, like something like the size over there. Throw it on an airplane, and with a couple little tiny stands, you know. I have some stands that actually go up really tall, but they fold really, you know, really small in a bag. They're mainly just like light poles, you know, but they fold up very small. And then, but these cameras are so light, they'll stay up there, so I can have them, you know, 8-10 feet up in the air if I need to, over the top of people's heads. But I can fit them in a backpack along with these three things. Throw everything in a backpack, pair of underwear and some socks, and spend the night in a hotel room, and I'm not paying for luggage to get on a plane. That's it. And I have a Rhodes, the Rhodes wireless lab, and I have another little cheap wireless lab unit, and, you know, have those presenter. If I need to get more, I can get more. But yeah, so I mean, it's pretty small little package I can take anywhere at the drop of a hat, and because they're so small, you know, and so light and so cheap, and they're so around, because I know what my camera settings are for each camera, so I can make them look all the same. That, you know, if I was out in LA and one of these broke and I was at a gig and need another camera, I could jump on OfferUp and buy the exact camera, go get it, dial it into my same settings because I already know them, and then boom, I'm back at business, you know. Or even go buy one at Best Buy and return it the next day. Shh. But anyhow, because they're still there, they're still selling. Anyhow, but I hope that helped you guys out. That's my thoughts on the A6000s, if they're still worth it in 2020. You know, in photography, I have no clue, because you know, on photography, all I know is you click on an auto, you click go, and then change the lenses, and that's what makes it look good. And then let Alicia dick with it in Photoshop. But no, I'm not that bad, but I don't care about photography, so, you know, I have no idea if it's worth it as far as photography goes. But as far as video goes, yeah, for $300, it's worth, you know, getting for what I use it for. All right, not if you're shooting 4K though. 4K ain't gonna work for you, but for what I'm doing, especially for live streaming, especially with the Atem Mini, because you don't need a mic input at all. You know, and if I did do something where I have this as a B cam and I did use a mic input, I'm probably not going to use the preamps on any of these as the actual audio. Anyhow, I would be using like this Tascam right here, or I have a couple of these that I put on the stands, and I use those, and I just have I just use the mic on board to link them up, because the preamps on any of these Sonys, the mic preamps, they're just not very good. So even the ones that do have mics, I do use them once in a while if I need to. If it's like a blow and go situation, you know, I'll plug the mic in there and use it. If I need a light setup, and most of the time I use the Tascam or a Zoom or something like that, something with a better mic pre. But anyhow, hope that helps you guys on your buying experience. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and tell me what you think in the description. And all right, I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Action.